Hi, and welcome to the Name Game and Other Stuff. Come on in.
Scissors and string. Soon it will be spring.
Evening, and welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. I'm your host, Leslie, and this is episode 75, and I'm feeling kind of crazy. And if you notice, I said evening because it is the evening. I'm going to try to go back to recording in the evening, and I'll get to why in a little bit. So first of all, let's start off with, like I said, I'm Leslie, also known as Pixie Knits, like everywhere in some way, shape, or form. And if you want to find that out, go to the show notes at myordinaryjourney.com. It's all one word, myordinaryjourney.com. And there I've got links to Twitter, Plurk, Google+, Instagram, Pinterest, and Ravelry, so you have plenty to choose from. I must warn you though, I have not been on Pinterest forever, and Twitter is hit or miss. Google+, best chance to find me is on Plurk, Ravelry, or Instagram. So I have fun with Instagram too, so that's great. So we have 188 folks in the Ravelry group. It's fluctuating. Every time we get to 190, I lose a few, but that's okay. That's all right. This week, I would like to welcome our newest member, and that is Christina Balance, and that's Christina. So welcome to our Ravelry group. Occasionally, I post things there. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves, too. I mean, really. It's you know, I moderate it, but it can be your group. I have no problem with that at all. All right, so birthdays this week. We have LP Star, and that is Lori. Simona Maloney, and that is Simona. Hi. Four Kitties, Havel, Melanie. Grand McKay, and that's Kathy. And Dragon Tamer Brat, Amanda. So happy birthday, guys. I hope you have a great one this week coming up. All right, so shout outs, announcements, and general chit chat. I don't have much other than the way of general chit chat. So here's why I'm feeling kind of crazy. This week, I went through an experiment with taking the commuter train up to work. I have a new coworker who's not actually new. She was my boss 2 jobs ago. So be careful what you do in your professional lives, I have to tell you, because sometimes you run into people all the time. So this particular lady, she used to be my boss, and now we're just plain coworkers, and that's kind of cool and awesome. So she lives right close to the commuter train station / metro stop. So she offered to pick me up, and I ride the train in up to the stop closest to her house, and she picks me there. She picks me up there in the morning, and we ride into work, and then she drops me off there on our way home in the afternoons. And today it saved me quite a bit of time, probably close to, 45 minutes to take the train today. Sometimes it doesn't save me any time, but it really does save me the hassle, and it gives me back productive time. I'm not sitting there, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And I get to get home at a decent hour. I was home at 5:40 this afternoon, where if I had driven in, I would have had to wait till 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock to leave the house, 10 o'clock to get in the office, which means I can't leave till 6, which is already, and then I don't get home until 7 or later, depending on traffic. So, and like I said, it gives me back time because that hour I spend on the train and the 15 minutes or so we spend driving up to the office, I can knit. So I have regained about 6 hours of my life this week alone because I rode the train up. I do it on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And that's why I'm recording right now on a Thursday afternoon, which is a little different. So, doing the train thing, it looks like I'm going to be recording on Thursday afternoons. Now, you guys probably won't notice a big difference because I wasn't posting the show until Thursday night, Friday morning anyway. And that will continue. Just the actual recording will be different. So, that is what's been up with me, I guess, sort of this week. This past weekend, I went to Spinquest up in Front Royal, Virginia, and I got to hang out with Kate from Gourmet Stash. She was there vending, and I was there it was kind of like a seminar type thing with some folks. Melissa Yoder-Ricks from Wild Hair Fiber Studio, she was there. So, and I love her yarns. If you ever get a chance to see some of her art yarn in real life, it's pretty incredible, some of the stuff she does, and I'd like to be like her when I grow up. So it's kind of a very local spinning person, celebrity. I think she really knows her stuff, and I really enjoy her yarns, and I do wish I could spin like her one day. And then after the spinning retreat, I'm going to say, I went a little bit up the road to Winchester, Virginia, and some friends of ours are up there, and we had dinner with them, and it was lovely, and we spent the night up in Winchester, and we drove back on Sunday morning, and it was a really nice weekend. So I'm looking forward to the weekend coming up. Not only is it a long weekend, but I'm going up to my sister's new house. It's her housewarming, so it'll be my first time going to see her new place, so that'll be fun. So lots to do and lots of time in the car knitting. Some events coming up. We've got Let's Stitch on October 12th. Shenandoah Fiber Festival, September 28th and 29th. And then the Virginia Fall Fiber Festival, October 5th through the 6th. I will be at the Fall Fiber Festival, the Virginia Fall Fiber Festival from the 5th through the 6th. I will be there on Saturday all day. I believe the hours are 10 to 5. And I will be spinning. I will be demonstrating spinning again this year. And then I will be back the next day just as not participant, but as a spectator. I'm going to bring my husband, and we're going to go and look at all the sheep and the sheepdog trials, and actually be a spectator this year. Alright, so the knitting game. I know it's the name of the podcast. I know I'm supposed to have things for you to vote on, but as per your voting instructions, I've been knitting to zero, sort of. So I don't have anything to choose from yet. If you hear some random cackling or someone that sounds like Homer Simpson, it is because my son is in the basement and my husband is watching The Simpsons. So you may have some random weirdness that you might hear. I don't know. So anyway, no real anything from the knitting game. I don't know if I might break the rule about knitting to zero, since I do have the exotic draped ruffle that won, and it's been sitting there and I haven't done anything with it, but I have like yarn choices, and I might get my act together on that one and start working on that one, since it kind of should have been on the needles a while ago, but we'll see. I still have my Downton Abbey gauntlets and my Rocky Coast cardigan to finish, so we'll see. I want to try to get as close to zero as possible before I really work on another pattern intensive project. And we'll get to that in a minute, what I mean by pattern intensive. So I'm going to move on to my knitting, which, surprise, surprise, has been phenomenal this week. I don't have any finished objects, but I do have some things that I've worked on. In case you're wondering, this is my Elizabeth Quinton Designs, my pretty little sheep bag. I can't believe nobody picked this up at Zombie Knit Apocalypse because it is such a cute themed bag. How can you love fiber and not love sheep, right? So I did cast on my left gauntlet here, and I've gotten through a complete repeat of the lace pattern. I think the pattern calls for a total of either 2.5 or 3.5 repeats. I'd have to look at the pattern. So I just started. I didn't work on it really all that much. I don't think I had much to do since the last time you've seen it. So, and of course at the provisional cast on it's rolling up. But I'm using the Lorna Laces Sport Mate yarn in the Christmas at Downton colorway. And I'm just using some Knit Picks Fix circular needles in whatever size they call for, and I'm magic looping them. So it's a tangly mess with all the bits and pieces. So those are my gauntlets. I didn't bring it out to show you. I did work on my Rocky Coast cardigan, sorta, like I finished half of a row. So I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the Rocky Coast cardigan at home. Obviously I can't. I could, but it would be a bit cumbersome. So I'm going to just do that one at home. And then I'm going to do my gauntlets and other like littler projects on the train, which will be spectacular. So what has really been taking up the majority of my time knitting wise over the last week is my Beth's Nightmare hat. So the last time you guys saw it, I had just kind of cast it on. I had done some trial and error swatching, and I got it to the right gauge and drape that I wanted to obtain. So as you can see, over the last week, yeah, it has grown substantially, as you can see. So last time you saw me, I probably had this much done. I have no idea if you can see that or not. I had about this much done. So not only did I finish all of my Spartacus Dies Sally from the Tim Burton series colorway, which is all of this part here, I purchased, so this is kind of like a segue into stash enhancements. I purchased some yarn from Wild Hair Fiber Studios, and it's kind of like these neutral tans, blues, and grays that kind of complement very well, I think, the brightness of the Sally colorway. So this is her hat, and you're thinking it's a hat, it looks like a giant long tube. So this is going to be the top of the hat on the outside right here. So this provisional cast on is going to be the top of the hat on the outside, and this right here is going to be the top of the hat. When I finish it, it will be the top of the hat on the inside. So what you do is at the point where they meet, you tuck this part up inside, so it's lined, so it's double thickness. So I wanted something that complemented the Sally without overpowering it. I wanted the Sally to take precedent, but I wanted something that would look good with it. And I thought that the colors were pretty spot on with the grays and the tans. It's kind of like a neutral grays and kind of blues. Even though they're not neutral, they play really well. So I thought that was kind of neat. So what I'm doing is I'm holding it double. I held the Sally double, and the Wild Hair Fiber Studio is a little thinner. It's a little bit finer. It's supposed to be sock yarn, but it is a little bit, the twist is different. The plies are thinner, so they're not as lofty. So it's not as, I don't know, it's a little bit finer, so the gauge is a little bit smaller on the inside, which is fine. It's good because you kind of want it a little to suck to your head. So this is what it looks like in a ball. Now the Sally came at 400 yards. This came at 460 yards. So I may have some left over towards the end. I'm not sure if I will or not. I'm actually going to put that here. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know. See? But that's the plan. So I almost thought I had it pretty close to wanting to be finished. But now that I see it, I still have, if I fold it over in half, you can see how much more I have to go, especially if you unroll it. So, if I keep going the way I do on the train, I may actually have this done by next week when I record. So that'll be good. But I'm not going to work on this at home. This is strictly in my purse for out of the house knitting. Since it's completely just stockinette, it's in the round. So it's a knit every stitch. So it's, of course I'm flying through it. So, and next week I should have more to show you on the Rocky Coast. So we'll see how that goes. So that is my knitting. Now on to my spinning. I don't have anything on the bobbin. I have 6 completely clear bobbins. I got everything off the bobbin so I could have clean bobbins when I went to Spinquest. And at Spinquest I spun a ton. Not literally, but it was 8 hours of, and I spun a lot. So what did I do? Let's start first with the Spinquest because I think that'll be good. So we got an assignment first thing in the morning and we were passed out pictures and they're double-sided. So I had this, which hopefully you can see it. So it's kind of like pink roses with kind of like blushes of cream and some petals that haven't quite turned yet. So they're kind of that light green color. So there's some leaves. There's some leaves. So this was one picture. The other picture I had was this one. And this one was kind of, I don't know, bland. I'm sure there was lots I could do with it. Like if you were doing art yarn, I would key on these little, you know, the stamen inside of these type of flowers. And I would have picked some add-ins to put into my yarn or something to play off that. But what I really liked, I chose this picture to go with. And what I actually keyed off of was not just the colors, but how round the roses' shapes were and swirly. So it was very swirly. I like the swirl. So I wanted to do something that really played off that swirl and the color. So they, as part of the entry fee, you got a quest kit, which came with all the fiber and add-ins and mix-ins that you could want for the day. And what they did is they dumped them out in the middle of the floor and said, go, and 40 women rushed the center of the room, and it was civil, but people were kind of trying to, grabbing what they could because of their inspiration. And some of the pictures were very like psychedelic, and some of these women, I'm telling you, because there wasn't a guy spinning, so it was all ladies. So one of these ladies, I don't know how she did it. It was just like, you saw the picture, you saw the yarn, and you're like, of course, there could be no other way, right? So here is the yarn that I came up with. So it's not the best. Now remember, I did this in 8 hours, so I don't know how much yardage I got. And I took it off using a nitty knotty, and I reversed my nitty knotty thing, and I have this like wonky out there strand that, yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal is. So here is the yarn. So it's very art yarny. I am probably not going to do anything with it, but it gave me a chance to try some techniques. So I have 3 plies in this yarn. So the first ply is, it's a subtle, now I'm going to stand up so you can see this. So this kind of gray color, I'm sure you can't see it, but there's a gray kind of that runs through here. You probably can see it a little bit better here. So this gray is a ply. Here you can kind of see probably all 3 of them together, but the gray and the green were spun regularly, just like regular, short forward draw technique. The pink and the orange, however, this is a core spun part of the yarn, and I purposefully went very thick and thin with it to try to get some loft. And I learned how to do like a super coil. So see this pink here, this is like bamboo, the bamboo over the I don't know what you call it, the core. So the pink and the orange are core spun. So if it's pink or orange, it's around a mohair core. So as you can see, I'm losing all my yarn, but that was the assignment. That's what I did. That's how it came out. My camera's at a different angle tonight, so you can probably see my belly. I'm sorry. So, but that is my fluff. All right, so that was Spinquest. I hope you enjoyed seeing the top of my head just then. So some other things that I finished up spinning is my Sensa Into the World. So this is a VFL silk. I don't know exactly how many yards I got because I forgot to put my yardage counter out when I was pulling it off the bobbin in such haste onto my Swift there. So I have no idea exactly how many yards I have. And in some parts, it is because I Navajo plied this, so it's a 3 ply. In some parts I have like lace weight, and in other parts it's a bit thicker, probably closer to a sport weight. So it's between a lace and a sport, probably closer to a heavy fingering sport weight throughout the whole entire skein or hank. And I weighed it. It was 120 grams, and according to my Knit Pick scale, at a sport weight, that would mean that I'd have roughly 330 yards. More, obviously, if it tends on the smaller side, like closer to fingering or lace. So I would say I probably have at least 330 yards of my Into the World in the Sensa colorway. Now, it is a little overspun, but not by much at all. I think a good soak, as you can see, it twists just, you know, it does curve, but it's not too bad, I don't think. And it kind of kinks up a little bit. I've got some corkscrews, but I think a good long soak and a tepid bath would do it some good. But here it is straight. I tend to like to overply my Navajo, my chain plied yarns, because I like to have the joint area pretty tight, where it's not gonna pull loose and get floppy at the join. I don't know what you would call it. So I think I just did that backwards or something. But that is some beautiful dark blues, light blues, and browns. So this is going to be a scarf, I already know. So that is going to be scarf. So I do have some quick stash enhancements, both from Gourmet Stash. This is a little tribble. It is merino, silk, bamboo, yak, alpaca, and angelina. It is hot pink and black. And we each got a little tribble, a little battling, just for coming to Spinquest. So that was very nice of Katie to donate these. These were part of our quest kits. So I didn't want to use this because I wanted to use it special for something else. I don't know. I have a bunch of her tribbles that I bought at Powhatan that I haven't spun up yet. So I'm going to use those in addition to this to do some art yarn work. So that is that. And then the other thing that I got, oh, this is so, I picked up a set of her rainbow poonies. So I cannot wait. So I don't know if you can see, but you start off with this black, and then it goes to like a stone gray, and then kind of like an off-white. So that's your like neutrals right here in this bunch. And then you get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And it is 2.5 ounces. It's 76% merino, 12% alpaca, and 12% silk. And it is her Spectrum colorway. So if you follow Kate on Instagram, you've probably seen these, and she may have put them up in her, oh, they are so luscious. She's got some really she's got these cashmere luxe, the luxe petite, I think is what she called them, the luxe poonies that are just magnificent. They are just absolutely wonderful. And these are no less amazing. So I'm going to have a lot of fun spinning these up. So that was my other purchase, other than the yarn at Spinquest. Well, other than that, that's all I have for this week. Hopefully, I get to continue to take the train 3 days a week. It would be great if I could change my personal training to the evenings on Monday and Wednesday, and then I could take the train every day, and that would be really awesome. And I can really tell the difference. If I get an opportunity to knit in the morning, I am such a much saner, productive person at work. Tuesday I had to drive, and I was like a demon hellcat. It was horrible. I was in such a bad mood. It was really bad. Although today was a 2-cup of coffee day. It's kind of stressful at work right now. I've got a lot going on. But it's amazing stuff, so I'm having a lot of fun. But just, yeah, the train makes it all better. So So I guess with that being said, I will talk to you guys later. So have a great week. Bye.